What up, y'all? Welcome to Feast Mode. This is my YouTube channel in which I will be breaking my intermittent fasts with a bang bang. And for those that aren't in the know, intermittent fasting is a way to eat your food in which you restrict the amount of calories. You go and intermittent fasting is a way in which you consume food, in which you restrict any caloric intake for a certain amount of time, and then break it with actual food. I'm going to be breaking it with a bang bang, which is 2 complete entrees or 2 complete meals at 2 separate restaurants, and I'm going to tie it together with some kind of theme. And for today's theme, we're looking at ribeyes, a classic American interpretation of ribeye, which is basically a steak with a couple of sides, as well as a Korean take on ribeye, which is bulgogi, which is thinly sliced marinated ribeye, along with some rice and some kimchi, which of course is a staple of any kind of Korean meal. I've been fasting for about 24 hours, and I've been using this app to track my fasting. It's called Zero. Just over 24 hours. Okay, and now I'm about to break it. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time with this video talking about the benefits and the nuances of fasting, but I will put in a really good article that goes into a deep dive into, again, the benefits and some of the things you need to watch out for when you get fasting. So with that being said, without further ado, let's jump into food. I'm starving, so 24 and a half hours in, let's break it. Forgot my chopsticks. Gotta have some chopsticks, I'll be right back. Okay, I can tell you right off the bat, the flavor is spot on. It's sweet, it's savory, a little salty. The only problem with it, and it's really my fault, it's not the fault of the place I got it from, it's a little cold, but the flavor is spot on. And bulgogi tends to come with this sort of this light sauce that forms while you're cooking it and goes perfectly with plain white rice. Actually, let me give you guys a little close-up of this. What I like to pair it with is kimchi. And kimchi, of course, is the fermented, spicy cabbage condiment that is omnipresent with Korean food. You'll find it everywhere. That's nice. I love the little onions in there. They provide a nice little sharpness to contrast with the rich, sweet, and salty meat. And has a nice little textural pop as well. Oh man. So I discovered intermittent fasting about a year ago. And just to give you a little background, I started doing it when so many other attempts at like weight management just kind of fell flat on their face, or on their faces. High protein, low fat, Atkins, macro management, all kinds of things. Keto even. I did keto for a few months. And though keto worked out great initially, really hard to maintain. I really love my carbs. I love my sweets. I love my desserts. And the fact that I had to kind of rip that out of my diet entirely was really hard to manage for me. I'm gonna jump into the steak. Now this steak, again, comes from Outback. Okay. And Outback is a place that I don't really go to anymore. The last time I went there was maybe about 8 years ago. I went on a hiking trip with some friends, and before we started off on the hiking trip, I told myself, we decided that we were gonna have some Outback steak because there was one close by. And so the whole hiking trip was like a good 8 hours, super grueling, especially when you're as out of shape as I was back then. And so we had this idea of this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow being this Outback Steakhouse. And once we got to the place, it was real bad. Just a poor quality steak, poor experience, overcooked steak, tough dry, all the things that you don't want a steak to be. That Outback Steakhouse steak.
Steak again. Steak again.
Embody that, and so I swore it off. And I think it's been about 8 years since I've been there. But there is an Outback right by my house, no more than a mile and a half away. So I wanted to give a shot after 8 years. So what we have here is a 10-ounce ribeye cooked medium rare. Loaded baked potato, their iconic brown bread. Not really sure what makes it brown, maybe some kind of wheat. Some steamed broccoli for the health. And of course, a blooming onion, because you gotta have a blooming onion when you go to Outback. It's probably their best thing and easily their most iconic dish. Okay, and I just love the presentation of it as well. It's a dope looking dish. But anyways, let's cut into the steak. I asked for medium rare. That looks more like medium well. And I even enunciated very clearly on the phone when I placed the order, I wanted medium rare. But this is sort of the thing I come to expect from Outback. And you know what? I'm not mad, not yet. Let's see how it tastes first before I give it final judgment. The flavor's okay. It's pretty well seasoned, but it is kind of gristly. It is a little tough, and I don't expect greatness from it. Ultimately, I'm not completely dissatisfied, probably because largely due to the fact that I haven't eaten in a day. But yeah, ribeye's my favorite steak, my favorite cut. This is very flat and very thin for ribeye. You can buy ribeyes in a grocery store that are twice as thick as this, probably a third of the price. Yeah, it's okay. It's really hard to scoop a baked potato, especially when it comes loaded with sour cream, butter, chives, Monterey cheddar cheese, and some bacon bits. And I like the fact that they salt the skin as well. The skin, in fact, is my favorite part. So let's find out. Immediately, that's better than the steak itself. And that's a sad thing to say about a steakhouse. But I mean, come on. You can do better than that, Outback. If you ever see this Outback, work on your steak game. You guys built your house on a steak and it's mediocre AF. You need to work on that. Alright? Now, I love broccoli, generally speaking. But this broccoli is just steamed. It's not going to blow anyone's mind. So, I'll just eat it. They couldn't even salt it. Come on, man. They couldn't even salt it. Alright. Bland, soggy, oversteamed probably, and unsalted, unseasoned. The dude that brought the food out to me didn't look like he was having the best time working there. So I'm not going to hate on him. I'm going to hate on management. Outback management, get your shit together. I don't know if this was baked today. I'm starting to get reminded of why it's been 8 years since I've gone back to your restaurants, and I'm starting to see it. Now, this might be your saving grace. Again, the blooming onion is dope. Battered, deep fried onion with a spicy, sort of creamy dipping sauce. Not really sure what's in it, but I see like flecks of red, which I'm guessing is like either cayenne or paprika. And this, even looking back as far as 8 years to my last time I was there, I remember I have fond feelings about this. So let's dig in. I like how the onion comes off in little clusters. Flavor's great. I love the seasoning. I love the batter on these onions. They're not crispy, which I think they're very soft and kind of mushy, which I think is a result of them being about 20 minutes outside of the fryer, since I was able to get my hands into them. But the flavor is there. That's good. That's good. It's got like streaks of medium temperature, but it's mostly medium well. It's a disappointment. People, raise your standards for steak. If you get a steak like this, if I was in the restaurant, I certainly would have sent this back. But seeing as I'm eating at home, there's no way I can do that. But if you get something like this that's cooked outside the temperature request, send it back. The second best thing from this meal is definitely the baked potato. I like to carve off pieces of the potato with the skin, some potato flesh, potato meat, potato.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Some of the skin with the potato, along with a nice little forkful of all the toppings that come alongside it. And from what I've read, there's a lot of nutrients that are actually in the potato skin, so it definitely makes sense to eat it along with the actual the innards.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Okay, my camera totally died there. I know, amateur hour. So I did swap out the battery, and we're back. I think that's the universe telling me wrap this up. It was fun. This is something I want to do. It's just a way for me to kind of share my journey with you as far as my lifestyle choices, as far as eating is concerned, and just kind of share like the things I love with you, and that's fitness, wellness, food. So with that being said, until next time, Beast Mode out.